Okay, so one of the key economic debates that is represented in the reading that you have for this week is this notion of Keynesian economics versus monetarism. And these come from two different economists, John Maynard Keynes and Milton Friedman. And the broad idea here is that for Keynes, the use of fiscal policy is used to rejuvenate demand by the public during an economic recession. Friedman, on the other hand, under this notion of monetarism, believes that the management of the money supply through interest rates and the main central bank is key. And one of the things that is advocated for under monetarism is a very limited government. To add a little bit more to this, Keynesianism is the idea that governments can deal with the cycles of capitalism of boom and bust through actively pursuing fiscal policy. Basically, what we're talking about here in terms of Keynes or Keynesianism is essentially getting more money to people themselves, either by lowering the tax rates or by creating more jobs through increased government spending. The notion being that once they have more money, they'll be able to start buying more. Businesses will have to hire more people, which will in turn increase people's income, and they will spend more money, and the cycle will continue, which is connected to the multiplier effect that you saw in your reading. This notion of Keynesian economics, of using fiscal policy, of potentially using deficit spending. So even if you don't have the money, the government can spend it, even though it doesn't have enough money coming in from taxes. Is really about having a larger role of the government. So you can think about it as people on the left-hand side of the ideological spectrum are the ones that believe in Keynesian economics. On the other side of the debate, there is this idea of monetarism. In other words, the emphasis on monetary policy. It's considered a top-down theory. The idea being that the government gives more money to those who know best how to use it, and the economy will expand. In other words, giving it back to businesses. Lower taxes and business regulations and lower business regulations for businesses. These businesses will then invest more, meaning spending more on expanding their businesses, investing more, opening new ones, which will create more jobs. And this is monetarism is this notion of trickle down economics that maybe you've heard in the media or in other classes. It does reject the idea of Keynesian emphasis on fiscal policy, emphasis on just regular people, and unlike the Keynesian model, it actually argues. It actually it argues for less role of the government in the economy.